with the huge wins in New York, then Pennsylvania, Maryland, Delaware, Rhode Island, Connecticut, Donald Trump has racked up a ton of delegates, and it turns out he might be able to get that majority all by himself before the convention. After all, he's outpacing expectations. He's outpacing some of the polling, which is new for him. Usually he does worse than the polling indicates, but now he's got some momentum. And latest math, according to the New York Times, is that Trump could be as few as 270 delegates from the 1,237 he needs when all of Tuesday's delegates have been awarded. So that's for the elections that just happened. So now, how does the rest of the election look like? Well, you've got New Jersey and West Virginia that are coming up, but those look like they're solidly in Donald Trump's camp. He's got big leads in New Jersey and a comfortable lead in West Virginia, so he might pick up 70 to 85 delegates in those two states. And then when you go forward, he could pick up another 40 delegates because Washington, Oregon, and New Mexico are proportional. So even if he loses, he picks up a sizable amount of delegates from there. Well, then that leaves two big states that could determine whether he gets the majority by himself. Will he have more than the others? No question about it. That's already done, okay? So he'll have at least a plurality, but if he has only a plurality and not a majority, it is theoretically possible that at a contested convention, all of the other delegates can join forces to defeat him. But if he has the majority by himself, he gets to 1237, it's over. He'll win on the first ballot, and he will be the nominee. So, two states that remain are Indiana and California. But Indiana is winner take all. So if he takes Indiana, we're pretty much done. It's over. He'll pick up enough delegates from California to get to the majority by himself. So the only hope left for Ted Cruz and theoretically Kasich and everyone else who hates Trump and the Republican Party is Indiana. So it comes down to there. It is a very important election. It's on May 3rd. And I know that the Kasich and Cruz have done these shenanigans where they're like, okay, now Cruz says he'll back Kasich in New Mexico and Oregon. Well, those are proportional. It doesn't really matter if you back them. It's not winner take all. Kasich got taken here on this deal. I think he recognizes it now. As long as Kasich backs Cruz in Indiana. So they shook on it. I think it was a bad idea. I know some of us disagree here, but I think that it just looks like they're dealing and wheeling and being slimy politicians. I think that's what's helped give Trump even more momentum. His whining and crying, like that doesn't work in real life. But apparently, on a large media scale, it does work. He cries all day about this stuff, and it works. It gets through the American people. Oh, my God, Cruz and Kasich are doing this dirty dealing in Indiana and stuff. So they can do any deal they like, but now Kasich is saying, no, you should still vote for me in Indiana. So apparently there's no deal at all. My point being, they're in disarray. And right now, Trump has a 5-point lead in Indiana, but you know the polling goes up and down like crazy. So it's not very reliable, but it looks like Indiana will decide this thing for the Republican Party. So we're going to cover it live here on tytnetwork.com/live when that election happens. But if Trump puts away Cruz in Indiana, this thing is over. OVAH. Donald Trump will be the Republican nominee.